The Grand Alliance. In the glimmering halls of the Galactic Alliance Citadel, representatives from 1,000 star systems gathered. For millennia, the Alliance had reigned supreme, its member civilizations sharing knowledge, trade, and protection. Their combined military might was unrivaled, a testament to the advanced technologies of the Verithax, the psionic powers of the Quellari, and the sheer numbers of the insectoid swarms. Presiding over the assembly was Grand Admiral Zorval, a seasoned warrior of the reptilian Verithax. His scales gleamed under the soft light as he addressed the gathered dignitaries. For ages, our alliance has maintained peace and order across the galaxy. But now, a new threat has emerged. The humans, a young and aggressive species, have begun to expand beyond their allotted borders. They ignore our warnings and challenge our authority. Murmurs of concern rippled through the chamber. The humans were newcomers on the galactic stage, their technology primitive compared to the wonders of the Alliance. Yet they had proven resourceful and unpredictable. "We have tolerated their insolence for too long," Zorval continued, his voice hardening. "It is time we remind them of their place. Our fleets will assemble and strike at the heart of their fledgling empire. We will crush their resistance and bring them to heel, as we have done to so many others before them." The gathered leaders nodded in agreement, their resolve hardening. The humans would learn to respect the might of the Grand Alliance, one way or another. The Terran Uprising. On the bustling streets of New Terra, capital world of the Terran Federation, life thrummed with energy and purpose. Towering skyscrapers reached for the heavens, their surfaces adorned with lush vertical gardens. High-speed maglev trains wove between the buildings, carrying the lifeblood of the city. In a modest apartment overlooking the metropolis, Captain Lena Sorensen of the Terran Space Fleet reviewed the latest intelligence reports. The Galactic Alliance was mobilizing, their vast armadas converging on human space. War seemed inevitable. Lena's comm link chirped, and the holographic image of Admiral Graves appeared before her. The old man's face was lined with concern. "Captain Sorensen, I'll cut straight to the point. The Alliance is coming for us. They mean to make an example of humanity, to crush our spirit, and force us back into line." Lena nodded grimly. "We've always known this day would come, Admiral. They fear what we represent. Change, innovation, a challenge to their stagnant order." "Indeed," Graves agreed, "which is why we've been preparing for this moment. The Titan is ready." A thrill ran through Lena at the mention of the Titan. The pinnacle of human ingenuity and defiance, a battleship unlike any the galaxy had ever seen. "I'll gather my crew immediately. We'll give the Alliance a fight they won't soon forget." As the hologram winked out, Lena gazed out over the city once more. The Terran Federation had come so far, rising from the ashes of old Earth, to forge a new destiny among the stars. They would not bend the knee to the Alliance, not without a fight. The time for hiding and compromise was over. Now they would stand tall and proud, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. For the future of humanity, they would risk everything. The fateful encounter. The Alliance fleet dropped out of hyperspace in perfect formation, hundreds of ships arranged in a grand armada that stretched as far as the eye could see. At the heart of the formation was the Firstborn, a massive dreadnought that served as the flagship of Grand Admiral Zorval. On the bridge of the Firstborn, Zorval surveyed the tactical displays with a mix of anticipation and disdain. The human colony world of Arcadia hung in space before them, a blue-green jewel ripe for the taking. "Scan for enemy ships," the Grand Admiral ordered, his voice cold and imperious. "Sir, sensors are picking up a single vessel in orbit around the planet," one of the bridge officers reported, confusion evident in their voice. It's massive, sir, like nothing we've ever seen before." Zorval leaned forward, his eyes narrowing as he studied the readouts. There, hanging in space above Arcadia, was a ship that defied belief. It was enormous, easily dwarfing even the Firstborn in size. Its hull was a patchwork of thick armor plates and bristling weapons, a brutal yet elegant design that spoke of human ingenuity and determination. "What is that monstrosity?" Zorval demanded, a flicker of uncertainty playing across his scaled features. "They're hailing us, sir," the comms officer reported. "Audio only." "Put it through." The bridge speakers crackled to life, and a human voice filled the air. "This is Captain Lena Sorensen of the TSS Titan, representing the Terran Federation. You have entered our sovereign space with hostile intent. Withdraw immediately or face the consequences." Zorval scoffed, his earlier unease giving way to indignation. "You dare make demands of the Galactic Alliance? Your primitive species is no match for our might. Surrender now, and your worlds will be spared the full wrath of our fleets." There was a moment of silence. Then Captain Sorensen's voice returned, harder and more determined than before. "We will never surrender our freedom, not to you or anyone else. You've underestimated humanity, Admiral. That will be your last mistake." With those words, the Titan opened fire, a blinding barrage of energy beams and missiles that slammed into the front ranks of the Alliance fleet. Shields flared and buckled under the onslaught, and several ships simply vanished in blooms of fire and debris. On the bridge of the Firstborn, alarms blared and damage reports flooded in. Zorval stared in disbelief at the carnage unfolding before him. In a single salvo, this lone human ship had crippled a dozen of his best vessels. What kind of monsters were these humans, to wield such power? As the Alliance fleet struggled to regroup and return fire, Zorval realized with sinking certainty that this battle would not be the easy victory he had envisioned. The humans, it seemed, would not go quietly into the night. They would fight, and they would make the Alliance bleed for every inch of space. The war had only just begun. The tide turns. The battle raged on, the void of space lit by the flashes of weapons fire and the blooms of dying ships. The Alliance fleet, vast and powerful, hurled itself against the lone human battleship with all its might. And yet, against all odds, the Titan endured. Its hull, a marvel of human engineering, shrugged off the worst of the bombardment, auto-repair systems working overtime to seal breaches and maintain integrity. Its weapons, an eclectic mix of cutting-edge technology and tried-and-true design, lashed out with devastating precision, picking off enemy vessels one by one. On the bridge of the Titan, Captain Lena Sorensen orchestrated the chaos with cool determination. Her crew, the best and brightest the Terran Federation had to offer, worked their stations with fluid efficiency, adapting and improvising in the face of overwhelming odds. "Reroute power from the secondary reactors to the forward shields," Lena ordered as the ship shuddered under another impact. "And get me a firing solution on that Quellery battlecruiser, now." In the heart of the Titan's engine room, Chief Engineer Hassan Abedi coaxed miracles from the ship's experimental drive core. The device, a product of years of secret research and development, tapped into the fundamental forces of the universe in ways the Alliance had never dreamed of. Under Hassan's skillful guidance, it pulsed with barely contained power, providing the Titan with the energy it needed to keep fighting. As the battle stretched on, the toll on the Alliance fleet became increasingly apparent. Ships lay broken and drifting, their crews lost to the pitiless void. Those that remained fought on with growing desperation, hurling themselves at the Titan in a vain attempt to overwhelm its defenses. In the end, it was a single daring maneuver that turned the tide. Lena, seeing an opening in the enemy formation, ordered the Titan to rush forward, plunging into the heart of the Alliance fleet. The massive ship, its hull scared and battered but unbroken, tore through the enemy ranks like a juggernaut, its weapons blazing on all sides. The Alliance ships, caught off guard by the sudden charge, scattered and fell back in disarray. And in that moment of chaos and confusion, the Titan delivered the killing blow. A salvo of quantum torpedoes, the most powerful weapons in the human arsenal, slammed into the Firstborn, the pride of the Alliance fleet. The mighty dreadnought, its shields already weakened by the prolonged fighting, crumpled under the onslaught, its hull splitting open like a ripe fruit. On the bridge of the Firstborn, Grand Admiral Zorval could only watch in horror as his ship, his command, died around him. Consoles exploded in showers of sparks, and the hull groaned and twisted as the ship began to break apart. In those final moments, as the lights flickered and died, and the void rushed in to claim him, Zorval knew the bitter taste of defeat. The humans, those upstart primitives, had bested the might of the Galactic Alliance. Nothing would ever be the same. Aftermath and revelation. In the aftermath of the battle, the remnants of the Alliance fleet limped back to their home systems, bearing news of their stunning defeat. Across the worlds of the Alliance, shock and disbelief gave way to a grim new reality. The humans, once dismissed as a minor nuisance, had proven themselves a force to be reckoned with. In the halls of power, the leaders of the Alliance races gathered once more, their earlier confidence replaced by a palpable sense of unease. They had underestimated the humans, and paid a bitter price for their arrogance. "This cannot stand," one of the Verithax warlords growled, his scales rippling with barely contained rage. "We must marshal our full strength and crush the humans before they grow any stronger, and risk another humiliation," a Quillary matriarch countered, her telepathic voice tinged with caution. "The humans have already shown they are not to be trifled with. Perhaps it is time to reconsider our approach." As the debate raged on, a new voice cut through the clamor. It was the ambassador from the Orion Compact, a small but respected neutral power. "If I may," the diminutive alien said, their voice soft but commanding, "I believe there is more to this situation than meets the eye." The gathered leaders fell silent, their attention turning to the ambassador. The humans' victory was no fluke, no mere stroke of luck. The technology they employed, the tactics they used, these are not the marks of a primitive species fumbling its way to the stars. No, there is something else at work here. The ambassador produced a data crystal and inserted it into the chamber's main holoprojector. An image sprang to life above the gathered leaders, a star map marked with glowing points of light. "These," the ambassador said, "are the locations of other human colonies, ones we had not previously known about. And there are more, many more, stretching far beyond the borders of their supposed territory." A murmur of alarm rippled through the chamber as the implications sank in. The humans were not the fledgling, isolated species they had been led to believe. They were a sprawling, well-established power, with a reach that extended far beyond what the Alliance had ever suspected. "There's more," the ambassador continued. "Our intelligence has uncovered evidence that the Titan was not some one-off prototype or experimental vessel. It is but one of many, a single ship in a fleet of battleships that puts our own to shame. The humans have been holding back, biding their time, waiting for the right moment to reveal their true strength." Silence descended on the chamber, heavy and oppressive. For the first time in living memory, the leaders of the Galactic Alliance found themselves facing an uncomfortable truth. They were no longer the undisputed masters of the galaxy. The balance of power had shifted, and the future was suddenly a much more uncertain place. On the bridge of the Titan, Captain Lena Sorensen stood tall and proud, her crew arrayed behind her. They had done the impossible, standing against the might of the Alliance and emerging victorious. But their work was far from over. As the ship set course for the nearest human colony, Lena knew that the road ahead would be long and hard. The Alliance would not take this defeat lying down. They would regroup, and they would come for humanity with all their strength. But the humans would be ready, united and determined, fighting for their place among the stars. And in the heart of the Terran Federation, a new hope was kindled. The dream of a galaxy where humanity stood tall and free, beholden to no one but themselves. It was a dream worth fighting for, a dream that the crew of the Titan, and all the ships that followed in their wake, would gladly give their lives to make a reality. The future was uncertain, but one thing was clear: the age of human ascendancy had begun, and nothing would ever be the same. The end.